best friends. So right before he says moreover, or like again, whence is necessary the law most looks the order which is in beatitude. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit?
What is it under? Like, is it a reply?
Again?
What is it under? Is it a reply to objection? Which one?
It's in the actual body. It's in the.
Oh, okay.
You know, I answer that. I don't know how they broke up the paragraphs, but I can't find it. But yeah.
It's in the
that?
paragraph. Like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. How did we get there? Okay, how did we get there? Anyone understand the question, or did I just go our conversation?
Yeah, well,
that makes sense.
He said how, like, the first principle of a human act is the reason, and the last end is our, like, eternal happiness or beatitude.
Okay. Now, how do you connect that with law? But that's good. That's true. You said.
Well, because law is pertaining to reason. We, like, started from his other argument.
Okay, yeah. The law pertains to reason. And reason. What? Can you say that one more time?
And reason is the first principle of our actions.
Okay, now does reason itself principle?
No.
Well, I guess that end. We act for an end. That's true. Is there one end, and I think someone in the class, Matthew, mentioned it earlier, that reason looks towards, works for. So for example, playing a soccer game is an end of reason. I want to go play a soccer game. I feel athletic today. Why not? That's an end. But does in fact, is there a further end or a more remote principle that I'm acting for?
Your happiness? Yeah, the happiness or your beatitude.
Yeah. So that's absolutely right. There's law is something of reason. It's a rule of measure and therefore something of reason. So whatever is the first principle of reason, law has to look towards. The first principle of reason is beatitude. The order of beatitude, I think, is what's actually English. Okay. Is that pretty clear? Or do we...
Yep, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay. Now, here's the question. How is beatitude related to the city or the state?
Sorry, can you say that again? You were fuzzy.
Okay. I'll say it loud and manly. How does beatitude relate to the city? You take it.
The city isn't happy only if the individuals are happy. So, in the strict sense of speaking, the city only allows for each individual to be as happy as it can be by the apportionment of land, resources for living, and whatnot.
Do you have any text supporting you from St. Thomas himself? I like it, by the way. I think it's great. I'm trying to...
Well, he says that one man is a part of a perfect community, and so although he's an individual, he he acts as.
Sorry, am I cutting you off, Tessa?
Oh no. Like when he man is part of a community, and so it's like, since he's striving for his individual happiness, like, I don't know how to explain it next. Never mind.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up the language of part and whole. Can anyone read that in St. Thomas when he brings it up? I think that's really important. The next step we have to look at.
He says, moreover, since every part is ordained to the whole as the imperfect to the perfect, and since one man is a part of the perfect community, law must needs concern itself properly with the order directed to universal happiness.
Okay. So there's three things we need to discuss. First off, what do you mean by perfect? I think that needs to come up. And we need to play
Latin
with
sense
this
is
idea of purposeful. Okay, so wait, I think we had to take her from perfect. Alright. What do you mean by perfect?
Perfect is in being completed or most fully created, reaching its full potential. So in a sense, godlike. So not as in.
But those the same thing. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but are those the same things? Reaching the full potential. And what was the first formulation you gave of it?
I'd say it's more being the wholeness, right? Being whole, a perfect wholeness is in its full entirety finished. It has no remainder left off. So
Yeah, it's complete.
that was more.
Do we agree with Mr. Matthew, or do we
Sorry,
throw the line? I heard someone say something.
I don't exactly.
Not missing any. What does that mean? What's perfect?
Did anyone find it startling how?
What do you mean? What?
People were talking right now. Why?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you, Phil. I feel bad for interrupting you so often.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. That's fine. I talk too much. I need to be interrupted every so often. But I was going to say, if what we mean by perfect is something whole and complete, what society then, if we're talking about political good, is whole and complete? Would we say, like, for example, I had my previous society, previous class tell me it's a kingdom or a state that's perfectly in line with God's will, the perfect community because it's obeying God. Would that be what we're talking about here? Or is perfect contrast to something like a household or individual or something like that? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Maybe.
A perfect
Well, I
community.
guess like it sort of depends on how you are defining perfect. If we're going by something that's just whole, then I guess a lot of governments could be, because they have like the right tools, but a lot of times the tools or the people that you use aren't necessarily good.
Well, how about this? A household, is that a complete society? Your house. Is that something complete on its own? Just no parts?
I would say so.
No.
You're talking about the family. It is a complete unit in and of itself, but the family is part of the larger society, which is, of course, part of the larger society, and ultimately it comes back to God.
So why would it be a part of a larger society if there's something perfect? Would you need?
Because we're social beings. That was an assumption that St. Thomas almost made, though, that we are obligated to better someone else.
But they can't that if a household is a perfect society or community, wouldn't that be enough? Wouldn't it be the common good of the household? Can man live complete? Does he have a complete life inside a household? Or
Not really.
outside of a city, like just a household on the fringes of society, like no society around it, maybe chaos. I don't know. You have marauders and people robbing your livestock all around you. Chaos, anarchy. Would that household independently be a perfect community? Could you sustain any kind of good life in that household? Or would you just be trying to meet the daily needs? Put food on the table, like an agriculture or a house, farm.
I would say you could.
Does that make sense to anyone? My statement / question that was a question and kind of turned out to be a statement.
Yeah, I would say you could, Phil.
Yay, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'll look at the computer and see what I'm getting. Nothing.
Can you hear him?
Alright. Do we still
I don't
think
Phil, can you hear us?
Matthew said that a household
Yeah, I can hear us.
Yes, guys.
right? Like he kept on doing the ordering. Right, Matthew?
Other
Which society does that ordering come to an end? Where's the first place we can stop and be like, yeah, it's complete?
Phil, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we've been talking to you. We've been responding to your questions, and you've just been keeping on talking.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard you guys. I haven't heard you guys talk.
Some of us
Yeah.
could hear each other. I was definitely talking.
I guess half the class heard half the class.
The
other half heard Phil.
Where did the half class go?
I heard.
Well, we're here now.
I think it was from the M's down.
Yeah, something like that.
But where did you guys land? And where did you guys go?
Well, we could hear you talking.
He said like agree with you like 3 times, say anything to her.
And I was like, wait a minute, am I on mute? Can nobody hear me?
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I think that's what you have to see. The first place you see a sufficient community is the city. Somewhere where you can not only have living, but living well. You can have the arts develop, you can have time for leisure, and enjoy some of those other things that was brought up as Tom did in the beginning, right? Watching sports shows. That's the first place you see that happening. A perfect community is the city. So now we have 10 minutes, and I don't want to keep you guys over, but I think I'm going to have to, because we have to now talk about whole and part. Here's my example. Is it good for my hand? What's good for my hand? Okay, that's a part of my body, right? My hand's a part of my body. What would you say the good of my hand is?
Something
Whatever
that
that's
doesn't
good
hurt.
for your whole body is. Because if the rest of your body's not doing well, then your hand isn't going to last for long by itself.
Yeah, that's good. So what would you say, for example, if I'm shielding my body with my hand or something like that? Would that be good for my hand?
Not for just your hands. Yeah, it wouldn't be good for your hands by themselves, but in as far as it's good for the rest of your body, it's good for your hands. Because even if if your hands get burned or something, at least they're still attached to a living body, rather than you dying of the burn or whatever.
Would they even be hands if my body died? Or anything?
No.
No. Well, Scott can disagree with us. But Scott, I'm asking you to grant that to me. Just going back to Catholic doctrine this morning. But so in a way, it is really good for your hand to protect your body, because if your body dies, so your hand. So it's not like it's evil for your hand to protect your body. It's actually good for the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you say that the hand is finding its happiness if it could have happiness.
I'm finding the whole hand analogy very weird now.
Fair enough. St. Thomas is the one who pointed it out, right? Hand is imperfect in relation to the body, much like man is imperfect on his own without a perfect society, namely the state or the city. The hand is going to find its good in protecting the body, and it's going to have share in some way the happiness the body has, health or something. It's going to share in that happiness.